All right, now we're up to mode number 7, the Locrian mode. This is probably the least common of all the modes. We're going to do this one in the key of E Locrian. So check it out. Okay, for this chord progression, we're just playing one note. We're just grooving on E. So, there's a lot of possibilities over just one note like that. We're going to use the E Locrian mode. Now, E Locrian is the 7th mode in the key of F major. If we play an F major scale, the 7th note is E, and the 7th mode is Locrian. So I'm using notes from F major, but played over this E groove. So here's the first lick. So starting off 9, 12 on the G, 11 on the B, 10, 12, 12, 10 on the high E, 11 2 times on the B, and then 12, 9 on the G string. Then I'm coming down to the open E, the high E, to the 3rd fret of the G string. Next phrase. So here we start off very similar to the first phrase. 9, 12 on the G, 11 on the B, 10, 12, 12, 10 on the high E, 11 on the B. Now we're going to bend up a half step from the 12th fret of the high E string, and then bend up a full step from the 13th fret of the high E and come back down. Now back to the 12th fret, bend up a half step and back down. And we tail off this idea, 12, 10 on the high E, 11 on the B. Next phrase. So here I'm going to play the 7th fret of the G 3 times, 9th fret of the G, bend up on the 9th fret of the G a half step and come back down, and then play 7, 9 on the G. Okay, next phrase starts off the same, but we're going to end it by playing 6 on the high E, 9 on the G. And the phrase that tails the whole thing off sounds like this. So once again, we start off by hitting 3 times on the 7th fret of the G string, 9 on the G, slide 9 to 10, 9 to 7, slide into 12, back to 10, and then on the 9th fret of the G, bend up a half step and back down. let's put that phrase together. Okay, here's the next idea. Okay, so we have a unison bend here. I'm holding the E note, 12th fret of the high E, while bending from the 15th fret of the B string. And I'll do that 2 times. And then 13, 12 on the high E, 15 on the B, back to 12 on the high E. Okay, the next idea has the first 4 notes from this idea we just learned. But this time we're going to end 17 on the high E, back to 12 on the high E. Okay, the next phrase sounds like this. So here we have the first 4 notes as we had in the first phrase. Now 15 on the B, bend 13 on the high E up a full step, back down to 13 on the high E, and then 12 on the high E, bend up a half step and back down. Okay, so let's go back to the beginning of this phrase with the unison bends. Okay, now we're going to do some shredding with some E minor 7 flat 5 arpeggios. As you recall, the 7th mode is Locrian, the 7 chord is minor 7 flat 5. So it goes to follow that we can play a minor 7 flat 5 arpeggio where we can play the Locrian mode, and it should work out quite well. So here's the first minor 7 flat 5 arpeggio we're going to play. These are E minor 7 flat 5. So 6 to 3 on the high E string, 5 on the B, 3 on the G, and then back up. 5 on the B, 3, 6, 3 on the high E. And we'll do that 4 times. Next inversion of this arpeggio, we're going to start off on the 10th fret to the 6th fret of the high E, 8 on the B, 9 on the G, back to 8B, 6, 10, 6 on the high E. We'll play that 4 times. Next E minor 7 flat 5 arpeggio, we're going to start off 12 to 10 on the high E and then grab 11B, 12G. Back up to 11B, and then 10, 12, 10 on the high E. And do that 4 times. And the whole solo ends with this phrase: 12, 10, 12 on the high E, 13, 12, 13, 15, 13, 15, and then bend up a half step from the 17th fret and then come back down. Okay, so let's go back and try and put all of this together. 1, 2, 3. Okay, there are some ideas from E. Locrian.